Hello and welcome to your practice today. Today's practice is going to be centered around preparing the body for a version of pigeon pose, sometimes referred to as the mermaid pose. This particular pose requires mobility in the spine and the shoulders, openness across the front plane of the body as it is a deep back bend, as well as both stability in the core and pelvic floor to support the balance, but openness across the region of the hips as well. So we're going to start by coming into tabletop position. So you can place two blocks to the front short side of the mat, place the blanket across the center of your yoga mat, and then you're going to come to tabletop. Okay, so as you arrive here in tabletop, just do a check-in with the hands. Make sure that the hands are at least as wide as the shoulders, maybe a little bit wider. We'll flow through a few cat-cows here. So as you breathe in, start to let your belly release down toward the floor, lifting up through your heart. And then exhale, anchor your hands down, and then round in your spine. Take your tailbone under. Draw your chin slightly in. Inhale, release through the belly, lifting up through the heart. Exhale, press your hands and round through your spine. One more time, breathe in, let the belly release, lift up through the heart. And exhale as you're pressing your hands and arcing and rounding through your spine. Inhale, come into neutral with the spine. We're going to let the weight come into the left hand. The right hand's going to start to lift, and we're going to dive that right arm down between the left hand and the left knee so that we come down into thread the needle. So right arm's going to come down toward the floor. Right side of the face is going to come down toward the mat. If the head is hovering, an extra blanket here can be helpful so that you can rest the right side of the face on the blanket. So we're going to use the left hand kind of just like a kickstand. So we're going to press into the left hand. It's going to help stabilize the body as we're here. And as you're pressing into the left hand, you might be able to feel your body gently nudge a bit to the right. Just going to exaggerate the opening around the right shoulder blade and the right rib case. Okay, take your last exhale here. And then inhale as you start to press into the left hand. Come back up into table. One round of cat-cow. So just breathe in, let your belly release, lift through your heart. Exhale, press your hands around your spine. Inhale, come to neutral. Slide the big toes together and the knees wide apart. Sink the sitting bones back toward the heels in child's pose. Keeping the hands active, we're going to walk the hands over to the left long side of the mat, stretching out through the right side. So I like to sometimes bend the left elbow and then just stretch nice and long through the right arm as the hips sink a bit to the right. So the bend in that left elbow just gives you a little bit of a stronger of an anchor point as your hips nudge to the right. Take a breath in. Last breath out. Inhale. Let's walk to the center. Spread through the fingers, activate the hands. Stay here in the center. We're going to come back into this pose in a moment to repeat the second side, but for now we'll inhale and come up to all fours. Slide the knees beneath the hips, ground down into your right knee. Send your left leg back behind you with the ball of the foot on the floor. And a few times, heel pulses. Just rock the left heel toward the back short side of your yoga mat and then let it rock forward. Keep reaching out nice and long through the crown of the head. Now, as that left heel starts to rock up, engage the front body. So, belly button to spine, low ribs in, float the left leg up about parallel to the floor. Focus your eyes down at the mat. Stay here or shift weight into the left hand and maybe send your right arm forward and along the side of the face. Take a breath in, soften your eyes. Keep the left leg lifted as you exhale, set the right hand down on the floor. For a moment, we're going to exhale, take the left straight leg and swing it over to the right until the ball of the foot comes down on the mat. We maybe move the chin a bit to the right. So this is going to engage through the inner legs. Inhale, float the left leg back up, lift up through the heart a bit, and exhale. Swing the left leg again to the right, root the ball of the foot, take the chin toward the right shoulder. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, float the left leg, lift up a bit through the heart, and exhale, swing the left leg over to the right. Let the ball of the foot come down, take your chin toward your right shoulder a bit. Inhale, float the left leg, and exhale, settle the left knee back down to the floor. Sway out your hips. Move them side to side. Okay, we're going to come to the center. We're going to let the weight shift into the right hand. As you're breathing in, float your left hand and start to dive the left hand between the right hand and the right knee. So we're coming down onto the left arm and the left side of the face. Remember, you can always support underneath of the left side of the face with a blanket. Press your right hand into the mat a bit and feel the body shift just very slightly over to the left. Deep round of inhale and exhale. Okay, stabilize down through your right hand. Inhale, unthread your left hand, come back up to all fours, adjust your hands, one cat-cow. Inhale, release through your belly, lift through your heart. Exhale, press your hands, take your tailbone under and around through your spine. Inhale, come to neutral. Slide your big toes together. Take your knees wide apart. Shift your sitting bones back toward your heels. We're walking the hands this time to the right long side of the mat. So start to adjust the hands to the right. If you like, maybe bend your right elbow so that the hand anchors down while you stretch long through the left side of the body. Reach long through the left arm and hand as the hips nudge a bit to the left. Draw your chin in a bit so that the gaze is down toward the floor, neck is in a more relaxed position. Last exhale. Inhale, coming back to the center. Now just activate for a moment through the hands. So you're using the pressure of your hands down to move your sitting bones back toward your heels. And then as you're inhaling, we're going to let the hips start to rise back up. We're coming into table. Slide the knees under the hips, ground into the left knee, send your right leg back behind you, and then pulse through the right heel a few times. As that heel starts to rise back up about perpendicular to the floor, engage through the belly and float the right leg away from the floor. Stay strong through the front of the body, and you can stay here or shift more weight into your right hand as your left arm reaches forward and along the side of the face. Take a deep breath in, relax around your forehead and your eyes, keeping the right leg up, but exhale as you bring the left hand back down. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, swing your right leg over to the left until the ball of the foot comes down, engaging through the inner legs. Inhale, float the right leg back up, lift up through the heart a bit, and then exhale, send the right leg over to the left, engage through the inner legs. Inhale as you bring the leg back up one more time, lift through the heart, and exhale as you swing the leg over to the left. Inhale as you bring the right leg back up. Exhale as you settle the right knee down. Sway out your hips a few times from side to side. Okay, coming here back to the center. Breathe in, release your belly, and lift up through your heart. Exhale, press into the balls of the feet. Downward facing dog. Elevating up through your knees, and you can take some time to pedal out through your knees and your feet. There's this opening that's happening through the soles of the feet and up through the backs of your ankles, up through the region of the calf, through the hamstrings. Okay, pausing there in the downward facing dog, anchoring your hands, feeling your sitting bones lift up. Take your next inhale, bring your gaze forward to the space between your hands, and you can start to step your feet forward, coming into forward fold. Now, as you're coming there, inhale, halfway lift. So hands on the blocks or hands on the shins, but we're going to lift the belly away from the thighs. Reach out through the crown of the head, and then exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, bend your knees and reverse. So start to rise all the way up. Now at the top, as you were exhaling, we're going to start to bend the elbows, bringing the thumbs toward the back of the neck. So your hands may even come together in a prayer position. So we're going to create length up through this tricep region. So sometimes as we're doing this, the ribs might have a tendency to jut forward. So see if you can draw your ribs in. As you inhale, you can let your fingertips re-extend up. You might let your palms come apart, and then exhale, your palms can start to come back toward one another again as your thumbs start to come down toward the back of the neck. Inhale as you re-extend your fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale as your hands are coming together. Elbows are bending, elbows are drying up. One more time. Inhale, reach your fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, prayer. Hands are coming together. Take your elbows, draw them upward. Inhale, reach your fingertips up toward the sky. And then exhale, bend your knees and take a swan dive forward. As you're arriving there, inhale, take halfway lift. So hands on the blocks, the shins, or the floor as you lift through the belly. Exhale as you step your left foot back and take your left knee down to the floor. You're going to walk the hands up to the front right thigh. So this pose is a little bit of a back bend. So you want to take your tailbone slightly down. And you can feel the opening across your left hip and down through the left thigh. To create some openness now across the chest, we'll breathe in, send the arms up to the sky, and then exhale as you bend your elbows, coming into the cactus arms. Inhale as you reach your fingertips back up to the sky, sideways, lifting up and out of the pelvis. Exhale, bend your elbows, maybe lift your chin, open through your throat. Inhale, reach your fingertips back up to the sky. And then one more time. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale as you reach your fingertips to the sky. Exhale, frame your right foot. Lift your left knee. Step your right foot back into downward facing dog. You can give a little pedal out through your knees and through your feet. We're going to let the weight shift into the right ball of the foot to bring the left heel up into down dog split. So inhale, send your left heel up to the sky, feeling this light lift of the left leg. Exhale as you draw your left knee into your chest, step your left foot through near your left wrist, and take your right knee down to the floor. Walk your hands up to your front left thigh. So draw the navel into the spine and feel your left heel and your right knee kind of drawing in toward one another. And we're going to send the fingertips up toward the sky for the 3 rounds of cactus arms. So exhale, let your elbows bend, opening through the chest. Inhale as you reach your arms up. Exhale, let the elbows bend. One more time. Inhale, send your fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, reach your fingertips up. Exhale, frame your front left foot. Lift your back right knee away from the floor. Step the left foot back into downward facing dog. And then as you land here in the downward facing dog, we're going to use a breath in to come forward with the hips into plank pose. So you may have to adjust your toes, inching them back 1 to 2 inches so you have room for your hips to come forward. Knees up or lightly lower the knees down to the floor. Exhale, bend the elbows. Let the elbows point back as your top of your sternum reaches forward, lower down to the mat. So you may need to adjust your hands, maybe slide them an inch back down toward the hips, and so they're underneath the lower chest. Press down into your feet. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale as you come back down. So a breathing cobra flow. Press the feet, anchor the hands. Inhale, tailbone down, lift the chest. So this creates mobility and flexibility in the spine. Exhale, coming down. Tailbone drawing down. Inhale, floating the heart. Strong through your hands and feet. Exhale, coming down. Just one more time. Inhale, breathing cobra. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, tabletop position. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep inhale and exhale. Okay, take your next inhalation. Look up to your hands. You can step or lightly hop your feet to the front. Inhale, take halfway lift with your spine. Exhale, fold in to the legs. Inhale, bend your knees and reverse. Let those arms sweep out to the side, reaching up. Prayer hands coming together and then down into your heart. Keep the hands together at the heart, bend the knees, come into chair pose. Press the palms strong together. So there's a tendency sometimes to over scoop the tailbone here. So let the pelvis roll forward. So it almost feels like that you're sticking your buttocks out to the back short side of the mat, but then engage the belly and the low front ribs in. You can stay right here. We're going to do a little balance, just shifting the weight into the left foot, taking that figure 4 shape here by floating the right foot, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, and then bending the left knee so that you're back into that deep chair position with the figure 4 shape of the legs. Let's take another inhale. Exhale, maybe sigh it out. Relax your shoulders. Another breath in. As you're exhaling, press down into your left foot. We're going to come up, releasing that right foot down to the floor. Breathe in. Circle sweep your arms up and along the sides of your face. Exhale, swan dive your body forward over the legs. Breathe in. Lift the spine into halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to step the right foot back and spin the right heel down to the floor. Come up, warrior 2. Inhale. Rise up as your shoulders land over your hips and your arms stretch out from your heart. Flip up your left palm, reversing the warrior, right hand to right thigh, or looping the right forearm around the low back as you arc, creating opening here through the left side body. Inhale, flowing back through warrior two, gaze forward. Exhale, right arm sweeps up and over as you frame your front foot, spin off your back right heel, lower your right knee down to the floor. Now we're going to heel toe the left foot off to the left. We're going to move the right hand a bit off to the right. So as this left foot heel toes out, turn the left toes open a bit. Place the hand on the left thigh, left hand to the left thigh as you take a wide open twist. I'm going to invite you to stay here or to start working with that binding action. You might be able to move your hips back a bit in space. Bend the right knee so the heel comes into the buttocks. Left hand reaches around and back. I usually like to come over to the top of the foot and then maybe walk to the pinky toe side, and then the hips can start to melt down a bit toward the floor. So stronger stretch across the quadricep region. Take a breath in. So just knowing that these stronger sensations in the body, these stronger poses are just options. So it's a great pose staying here in this wide open twist. So honoring the body, take a breath in. Then as you're exhaling, you're going to release. Everything is going to come back to the center. So you want to do like a little heel toeing action, frame your front foot, lift your back knee away from the floor. We're going to take this left leg into downward dog split. So we're going to lift the left heel up to the sky. Feel free to transition first through down dog, then into down dog split. Bend your left knee, turn it open. Revolved three-leg dog. Drawing the belly in. Okay, take a breath in. And then as you're exhaling, setting that left foot down, downward dog. So stay here. We'll take a vinyasa as an option just to keep building some warmth in the body. So inhale, come forward into plank, knees up or down. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, curling up into cobra, opening the front plane of the body. Exhale, engaging the belly to spine. Lift the knees, downward facing dog. And then pause. Just feeling the full circulation of inhale and exhale here. Okay, on your next round of inhalation, we'll take the gaze forward, adjust the feet forward, take a breath in, lift through the belly, reach out through the crown of the head, half lift. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, bend your knees and reverse the swan dive, rising up. Prayer hands connecting and coming down into the heart. Begin to bend your knees now, coming back into chair pose. Being mindful of that tendency to over scoop the tailbone. So rolling the pelvis forward so it feels like you're sticking your butt out a bit, but then you really want to engage through the belly. Stay here, shift into the right foot, lift the left ankle over the right thigh. Press the hands and then move the sitting bones back a little deeper into that chair position. Gaze is steady. Breath is strong. Mind is focused. Take a deep breath in. Sighing breath out. Okay, last in breath here. As we're exhaling, you're going to let the left foot start to come down. Breathe in, sweep the arms up by the ears. Full body extension. Exhale, bend your knees and swan dive your body forward over your legs. Inhale, lifting through the belly, reaching out through the crown of the head. Exhale, stepping your left foot back, spinning your left heel down. Breathe in, left arm sweeps up, right arm comes up, warrior two. Inhale, flip your right palm, left hand comes to the thigh or loop the arm around the low back. Take reverse warrior. As your right arm reaches toward the back of the room, the right knee reaches forward. Take your breath in. I'm going to come back through warrior two. Come down, frame the front foot, lift the left heel, lower the left knee down to the floor. Walk the left hand to the left, heel toe the right foot to the right, turn the right toes open, right hand to the right thigh. Nice wide open twist, strong stretch for the hip and the quadricep region. Stay here, or you can start to move your hips back. Then bend the left knee more so that the heel draws toward the buttocks and the right hand comes back, reaching for the foot. So I always walk to the top of the foot first and then inch my way over to the pinky toe side, and then press the foot into the hand. And then the hips start to melt down a bit toward the floor, but still staying with a strong connection, feeling the energetic line between the right heel and the left knee as you spin the heart open. Okay, last breath in. Okay, and then you slowly release that left foot down. Everything has to come back to the center. So kind of heel toe everything in. Frame the front foot. Lift the left knee. Right leg's going up to down dog split. So right leg swings up and back. Right knee bends and turns open to the right. Twisted three-leg dog. Draw the chin in a bit and lengthen out through the crown of your head. Exhale, lower the right foot down. Downward facing dog. Inhale, roll the hips forward, plank pose. You might inch your toes back a bit. Knees up or knees down. Exhale, let your elbows bend and lower down to the chest and ribs. So we're going to take locust pose this time. So take the tailbone down and start to elevate up through the chest and then float the legs away from the floor. It's one of my all-time favorite back bends. Gets a little bit of pressure down in that abdominal region. Feel the spinal muscles strengthening. Keeps us close to the earth, so it still has that grounding feel. Staying here with the hands, you can float them away from the floor, maybe take them wide open out to the sides of the room, as long as that feels okay on your back. So once we start extending the arms farther away from the body, it becomes a much more challenging pose on the back. So keep them into the sides of the body if that feels better on your back. Take a breath in. As you exhale, stack your palms so that your forehead has a little pillow to rest on. As your body comes down, bend your knees, hook your heels in toward your sitting bones, and rock those lower legs a few times from side to side. Okay, you have the option here to repeat locust again. We're going to take a version of the bow pose. We're going to move the knees apart, kind of like wide-kneed child's pose. Bring the inner edges of the feet together so they're touching. Bring the arms down by your sides. You're going to draw your tailbone down, and we're going to start to lift the knees and the thighs away from the floor. You might float your hands up. Now, your hands can always come underneath of your chest so that you can support there. Stay here. You can also have the option to take hold of the ankles with your hands. Let your knees move apart if you take that option. Press your ankles into your hands as you lift up through your heart. Good. Nice, deep, strong chest opener. Breath in. Okay, one more time. Breathe in. And then exhale as you create that pillow again for your forehead. So let everything release. Bend your knees, hook those heels in toward the buttocks, and sway those lower legs a few times from side to side. And let your feet come down for a moment. Give a little sway of your hips from side to side. Okay. We're going to slide those hands underneath of the chest as we press up to all fours, the tabletop position. Come up to tabletop pose. Sway out through your hips if you need any extra movement. We're going to do one more bind here before we come into the pigeon. You're going to take the weight into the right knee. You want to send the left leg back behind, ball of the foot on the floor. So there's lots of options. You can stay here. It's a great pose for building strength and stability. Float the left leg. Another option, stay here, or you can float the right arm forward. Now, because we're working with the bind in our peak pose today, if you want, you can bend the left knee and reach back with that right hand, seeing if you can catch. I always like to catch the inner ankle first. You can stay there, or sometimes I like to walk to the top of the foot and then maybe come to the pinky toe side. Now, if you're at the pinky toe side, it's kind of easy to hyperextend in the elbow. So let there be a little softness in that right elbow. And then you press the foot into the hand as you take the twist here. Turning the heart to the right, keeping some softness in the right elbow. I usually like to gaze down just to keep relaxation in the neck. Inhale, send the right arm forward, left leg back. Exhale, right hand and left knee coming down to the mat. Sway out those hips. Okay, so keep coming back to this intention of just honoring the needs of the body, taking the variation that feels best for you today. Shift into your left knee, reach out through the right, ball of the foot on the floor. Here's option one. Stay here, float the right leg away from the floor, gaze down. There's a lot of strength building that's happening here, so you might stay here, float your left arm forward, and then know you can stay here, or bend the right knee, sweep that left hand back. So you might catch hold of the inside of the ankle first, and you might take the pose from there. Then walk your hands over the top, and walk the hand to the inside. Now, it's easy to hyperextend in the elbow here, so keep some softness in your elbow. Press the foot into the hand, maybe take your gaze down. So it's a quad stretch. Opens across the hip flexor, but it also has that twisting component to it. Okay, nice breath in and out. Okay, inhale, reach your left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale, settle your hand, settle your knee, and then sway out your hips. You might give a little round to your back, maybe a little cat-cow flow. Always want to feel better after you practice, so be mindful of how strong things feel in your body. Okay, we'll go into downward dog. So lift the knees, float the sitting bones up to the sky. Deep inhale, reach out through the crown of the head. Settling exhale. Okay, let's shift into the left ball of the foot. Inhale, send your right heel up into down dog split. Exhale as you curl your right knee into your chest, and we're going to come through to pigeon pose. So right knee is moving more toward the right wrist. Okay, so we're going to take those blocks that are at the front short side. We can move them back so we can create some support for the hands. So I usually like to press down into the blocks mid-height and have this feeling of almost like scissoring the legs together so that you get lift of the pelvis away from the floor. Now you're either going to stay here or we can come into an extra quadriceps. What I like to do is lean forward, right hand on the block, lean forward, bend the left knee and bring the foot, the heel into the body. Okay, now you can choose to stay here. This is a strong stretch here. This is the mermaid variation one. Okay. We can also take, instead of holding this left hand to the foot, we can start to hook the elbow around the foot. Kind of got to inch that elbow down and around the foot. So you're holding on at the elbow. So keep the legs scissoring toward one another because that's going to keep the pelvis away from the floor. So you can stay right here where this right arm might come up by the ear. Right elbow can bend in that action we took earlier in the practice so that the hands might end up connecting. Okay, and then as the hands connect, you can take the back of the head and just relax it into the right forearm a bit. You want to slowly release. So keep that scissor action going in the legs as you release the clasp of the hands. The right hand comes down, and then you're going to release through the left arm and left foot. Relax the foot down. And move the blocks out to the side. We are going to sit out onto that right hip. You're going to swing this back, left leg around. Okay, now as it's swinging around, we're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh. So feel free, if that's not working for your body, the right leg can actually extend out. Otherwise, keep the right knee back. We're just going to take a small twist to the left. So because the pelvis is a little more grounded here, we just want to take a small twist. So right hand to left leg, I even like to just lean my body forward a bit. So I'm leaning the chest into the left thigh as I twist. All right, last round of inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to come back around to the center. Let's lean weight into the hands, uncross the legs, plant the feet, point the knees to the sky, and then rock the knees from side to side. Okay, we're going to cross at the ankles and the calves, come forward, come back up through hands and knees, adjust your knees, and send your sitting bones up into downward dog. Okay, take a round or two of breath here. Shifting the weight now into the right ball of the foot, and inhale, send your left heel into downward facing dog split. And then as you're exhaling, we're going to draw that left knee in toward the chest, coming into pigeon pose on the second side. So the left knee is coming toward the left wrist. We're going to reach to the sides. We're going to catch hold of those blocks, slide them in. And then you want to inch the right foot back maybe an inch or two. And then you want to create that scissoring action in the leg. So your left leg feels almost like it's drawing back, while your right leg almost feels like it's drawing forward, so that you feel the lift of the pelvis away from the floor. So you may want to stay here, working this action of strength building in the legs, in the pelvic floor, and in the core. Otherwise, this left hand can go forward a bit so that you lean forward before you come into the quad stretch. So you bend your back right knee, reach back with your right hand, and catch hold of the foot. You start to draw the heel in toward the buttock. You're going to stay here, or you can start to slide your right elbow around the foot. Kind of got to inch your way around. Okay, and then you draw the legs into that scissor action again. So the pelvic floor does stay a little bit lifted. You can stay here. Strong sensation in the back where you can stretch that left arm up by the ear. You might bend the elbow. So it's the same action we did at the beginning of the standing flow, and maybe bring your hands into a clasp position. Okay, deep breath in. Let the back of the head rest into the left forearm just a bit. Okay, after your next round of breath, you can slowly start to release the hand. As the left hand comes down, you lean your body a little forward, slowly release that right leg. All right, we're going to slide the block set to the side. We're going to sit out onto the left hip and swing the right leg around. Now we're crossing it over the left leg for a version of the half lord twist, the fish's twist. Now the left leg can also extend forward. I'm going to root down into the right hand. Left hand's going to catch hold of the right leg, and you're just going to lean your body a little forward, compressing the front of the body while you're taking a bit of a twist. Remember, it's a small twist on this one because the pelvis is locked down. After this next inhale and exhale, we're going to bring everything back around. We're going to lean weight into the hands, point the knees to the sky, and then take those knees a few times from side to side. All right, so I'm going to come off the blanket for a moment. Fold your blanket up once or twice. Sit up on the edge of the blanket. We're going to take the legs straight forward. So you might even have a little bit of a bend in the knees. I like to have my heels about hip bone distance apart. We're just going to take the hands down, framing those legs, and then just starting to lean the torso forward. Of course, if you want to take your legs a little more straight, that's fine. We just want to see if we can avoid having the strongest sensation in the backs of the knees. We really want to have the sensation a little higher up in the thighs behind, like the belly of the muscle. It's called like mid thigh. So that's what you want to pay attention to. So lean. It's just nice and slow, right? Just taking us into this abdominal compression, this forward folding motion. Breathing in through your nose. All right, last round of inhale and exhale. And we're just going to be slowly bringing the torso back up, shifting the pelvis forward. You can bring your blanket up to the side and come down onto your spine. Pick up your feet, hug your thighs in toward your ribs. Just a little bit of rolling around on your spine. Okay, and we're going to take the knees and separate them a bit. Take happy baby position. Ankles over knees, holding around the calves, ankles or feet. You can stay here. Take that wide leg, upward, wide angle position. So it's that middle split position on the spine, just to help counterbalance the engagement of the inner leg lines. That pigeon pose. Begin to bend your knees back into knees into chest position. If you like, you can cross your right leg over your left, like you were sitting in a chair with your legs crossed. Keep the feet moving wide apart, recline cow face position. Reach up with your hands, catch hold of your shins or your ankles, and draw the legs into the body. So right thigh is going to compress into the right rib cage. And then I release the hands. We'll switch the legs, uncross. Left leg crosses on top. Keep the feet moving apart. Reach down with your hands. Draw the legs into the body. Feel the left thigh compress into the left side of the torso. Okay, releasing the hands, releasing the cross of the legs, releasing the feet down. Take a few windshield wipers. And when you're ready, reaching out through the legs. Heels drop down, toes fall open. Palms face up toward the sky. Allow your body's weight to release down. Feel the release of the exhalation help you in letting the weight of the body release downward to the earth. Allowing your body to remain still, but breathing a little more deeply and fully here. When you're ready, allow your knees to bend so your feet come flat to the floor. Rolling your body over to the right or to the left side. Pressing your hands down and rising up to your seat. As you arrive, join your prayer hands at your heart, sit tall. The light within me sees and bows to that same light that exists within you. Namaste.